seem to be on a beach, a different beach from where I was. Just some flat hills, low hills. Around there's a house further back. It's on its own. There's nobody around. It's this old looking house. A red roof. It's a black dog. Coming up, looking at me, wagging its tail, like friendly.
Does the dog seem familiar to you?
Yeah, it's like it knows me. Yeah, the dog, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel, yeah.
When you look down at your feet, what do you see?
Barefoot. Blue toenails.
And what age would you say the dog is?
Oh, middle age. Not old, but not young.
Yeah. Do you know what type of dog it is?
So it looks part Labrador, part something else. There's a bit of white under its neck.
Yeah.
Under its chin. And the ears are sort of, they stick up a bit, but they flop. Like a cross or something.
Do you see what you're wearing?
So look down, there's a blue dress or skirt. A little pattern, like little red yellow flower. Little flower dotted all over it.
Are you carrying anything?
So, a little backpack.
Do you know what's inside it?
Some container with some food, like been for a long walk. So it was food and drink.
Are you carrying anything else?
A little axe, like a little tomahawk. Long, very long red hair.
How old do you feel?
About 20 something. Early 20s. Maybe a little bit. No, not teens. Early 20s.
Mm. Do you know if you're wearing any jewelry?
Bracelet, made of like pieces of like turquoise, round polished pieces of turquoise, the whole band of them around my wrist, and a thin gold bracelet.
Yeah.
On my white skin. Nice. Both on my left arm.
Mm.
There's nothing on my left wrist. There's nothing around my right wrist that's holding the tomahawk.
Does your body feel healthy?
Yes, fit and healthy. That's my house.
And what is the dog doing now?
Wagging its tail, looking up at me. Sort of a smiley, happy face on it. Pleased to see me.
What do you do next?
Walk towards the house and the dog's walking in front of me. It's just all green grass. There's no fence or anything. It's just like it's just back from the beach on a slight rise and there's nothing else around. It's a smallish house. It's a red roof with a colours, but weatherboard with a sort of a creamy, yellowy cream colour. And there's a bit of a veranda on the front.
What are the walls made out of?
A weatherboard walls. And the red roof is corrugated iron.
Is there anything outside the house laying around?
There's a little shed. It's not a shed. It's a long drop toilet just away from the house toward the back. And around back there's a big corrugated iron water tank. There's a pipe coming down from the roof into the tank. And that's painted red like the roof. And right round the back, and there's a stack of firewood against the back of the house. There's a back door.
Does anyone else live there with you?
I don't think so. I think it's just me.
What do you do when you get to the house?
Go on the back door. There's a couple of wooden steps going up. And go in. And it's the kitchen. And it's got black and pale yellow checkers of vinyl for old style lino. I don't have any more. And you go in the back door, the kitchen's to the right. There's a window and a bench with a sink, kitchen sink. And some cupboard doors under that, like painted sort of a greeny, light sort of greeny blue. Now there's silver catches. They slide to open the cupboard. The cupboard doors are like tongue and groove sort of stuff. Thing like that. Bench tops are red.
Yeah. Do you stay in the kitchen?
I take my pack off and I take out this food container and a drink, put them on the bench, and then I go out and into just a really short kind of hallway. And on the right, that's the sitting room or a lounge. There's a couch and an old couch and chair. And like a coffee table. The floor's bare wood, but there's a big rug, sort of a red piece of carpet, and a little sort of pattern on it, sort of a creamy pattern. And there's a fireplace, and there's just ashes at the ember, but it feels warm still, like from last night.
And how does the place feel to you?
Sort of homely, but it's a bit cool at the moment.
Yeah. And how are you feeling just now while you're inside there?
Like I've done what I needed to do. Glad it's done. It's something to do with the tomahawk.
Do you know what it is that you just did?
To feel like I killed someone.
When you look at the tomahawk, is there anything on it?
There's a bit of blood on the handle by the head, but the head's clean. It's white. There's a child. I killed a child with the axe.
How old was the child?
About three.
Do you know what the reason was?
I couldn't do it anymore.
Who did the child belong to?
Me and my husband.
Where is your husband?
He's gone.
Why did he go?
He left.
How long
He
has he
didn't-
been gone for?
Some months.
What was the reason?
He just said, "That's it. I'm done." And he took some things and just walked away. And I just watched him. And I cried. And the child was hugging my leg. I just felt abandoned.
Did he explain why he couldn't do it anymore?
No. He said, "I've had enough." And I couldn't speak. He was violent at times. And I was scared of him. We're just in the middle of nowhere and there's nowhere else.
He was violent with you?
Yes. And when you got angry with the child, I was protecting the child.
Do you know where his anger came from?
It was fine when we met. It was very, we loved each other. And then just started picking on me for little things. I don't know why. And it got worse and worse over a year or yeah. I wouldn't say why. He just got really cold and just cut me off. And I couldn't get near him. He wouldn't let me hug him. He pushed me away.
Mm.
And he wasn't. God told he wouldn't say much at all.
Was the child healthy before?
Yes,
What was the reason that you
Uh.
couldn't keep the child?
I got so angry and bitter. And not very well mentally. And took our child for a walk. Made the dog stay home. It was revenge on him.
Because of how he treated you?
How he treated me and abandoned me.
So it affected you a lot psychologically?
Yep.
Do you remember any moment, any important moment with him that kind of started it all, or was a catalyst to where you got to?
It's like I touched something deep within him that triggered it all. So intimacy. It got like it allowed me to love him so much, but I got right there. I touched something.
Mm.
He just changed, just like that.
Just
And his
overnight.
eyes,
Mm.
his eyes just changed. It's like the monster emerged. It's been there all along. I didn't know.
Mm. And now that you've done that, how do you feel?
Just numb. Just totally numb. Just standing, staring at the floor. What the?
So after you get home, you've come into the area near the fireplace. What do you do next?
Kneel down and put my hand on the embers and burn my hand. I hold my hand there and burn it. And I think about just walking into the ocean.
Which hand do you put in?
Right hand.
How long do you leave it there?
Maybe seconds, but it feels like minutes.
Mm.
And it's burned, it's black. My palm and my fingers. It's almost like I can't feel it. And then I wipe it on my face. The black soot. Just wipe my face. Blue eyes and red hair.
Mm.
A white face with soot smeared down it.
What do you do after that?
Just, I feel despair. I put my hands on both hands and pull my hair. There's a few tears.
Is your dog still with you?
The dog's just come in. I'm kneeling. It's trying to lick my face. I stand up. Walk out to the front door. I stand looking at the sea. And I'm just walking out and ending it all.
And what's on your mind?
Just walking out to the sea and drowning. I can't think of anything. It's just numb.
None, yeah. What time of day is it?
Mid-morning.
Mm. Is the tide in or out?
Not sure. It doesn't. It doesn't fluctuate a lot at the edge of the water.
Because of the location you live?
Yeah, it's a bit of an inlet.
Mm.
Pathetic. Oh,
How are you feeling?
just what do I do? I'm trying to just not think and erase it all. Just walking back to the house,
Mm.
staring at the ground. I've left the house and got a cart, a horse and cart. Yeah, it's a dirt road. And there's like a store, a couple of shops just on one side of the road. And just the horse is pulling the cart and just going slowly past the shop, and there's a man looking at me at the door.
How old do you feel now?
Probably only a couple of years later.
Yeah. Is it your cart?
Yes.
Is there a horse?
There's one horse that's pulling it, one horse in front.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting up the front with the reins. And I've got a trunk in the back.
Is there anything else in the cart?
There's a trunk in the back.
Do you know what's in
A
the
big-
trunk?
A big leather trunk, just some belongings, clothing and stuff.
Mm.
I don't have the dog.
Are you going into the store?
I stopped in the middle of the road, and get down. The man smiles when I approach. He's wearing a black brim hat with a big brim on it.
Mm.
He's got a he's asking me questions. He's got a badge on his left breast, like a police badge,
Like a sheriff?
like a sheriff badge. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a big sort of drooping mustache.
What questions does he ask?
He said, I haven't seen you around here before. Where are you from? I said, miles away.
Yeah.
Where are you heading? He said. So I'm looking for my father's house. He used to live around here somewhere.
Do you know what the name of the town is?
It's hardly even a town. There's a sign that says Milwaukee Store. Just red painted on bare board.
Mm.
I don't know if that's the name of the store.
Did you notice the accent of the sheriff? What did he sound like? Is he still talking to you?
He's just looking at it. He looks down, takes a puff of a cigarette and throws it on the ground. Blows the smoke out. And now he's looking not so smiley, looking more threatening. But he asked me if there's anything I need.
What do you say?
Just some water. There's like a pump around the side of the shop though. It's like a ball pump or something.
Do you need to get water?
Yeah, I get water in this. It's like a pottery jug thing with a lid on top. And I pump the water into it. It doesn't come out very fast. And like a big cork goes in the top. It's brown around the top, so the shoulder of it, and then it's a creamy colour, the main body of it. And I just go back into the wagon and carry on, and there's no more dialogue with him.
Do you know where
And
you're heading?
I don't know where I'm going. I'm just going to look for a place somewhere, just away. So I continue on the horse.
after you leave the little town.
Yeah. I met a young man, his name's Michael. And it's a shop, like his parents own the shop. And he works in there. And they like to sell all sorts of things.
How old is he?
Yeah. He's about mid-20s. I'm older than him. I'm more like 30.
So it's been a while since you left the house.
Yeah.
Do you know what happened to your dog?
Just abandoned him. He didn't follow me.
Are you in the shop now?
Yeah, he's just standing outside the doorway and he's coming out, smile on his face. We have a hug. Seems like we're really close, and it might be marriage. It's a bit of a busier town. Shops lining both sides of the road. So all wooden buildings. But the road's dirt.
Do you live in that place now?
Yes, but I don't live with him because we're not married.
How far away from that shop do you live?
Just across the street and down a bit. It's like a boarding house place, but it's only a woman. And go upstairs and there's like rooms for the big room with bunks, sort of double bunks. And it's like a shared room, so it's stuffy. There's other woman in there. There's a couple of them that don't get on. I don't like living there that much.
Yeah. Do you talk to Michael after he hugs you?
He says, am I hungry? I said, I just eating. We go for a walk and we're holding hands. The woman goes past, sort of frowning, looking at our hands clasped.
Judging?
Yeah.
In comparison to what happened years ago, how are you feeling now?
Much better. It's like I've moved past it. Sort of just block it out. It's like this dark secret that I just block out and I don't even think about it. It's like he's too good to me and I'm looked down upon by a lot of people.
Why are you looked down upon?
Something. Because I'm just a single woman living in this boarding house. and he's the son of a respectable, the shop owner, and they're just really judgmental.
So it's typical behavior in that time period, in that location.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know the name of the place you're living in?
Stanton.
Stanton, yeah.
Something like Stanton.
And do you know your name?
Martha.
Yeah. And do you know the name of the shop where Michael works at?
Stanton General Store. Big sign above the doorway. Established 1873. Just EST. Established 1873.
So you were walking together. Did you say it was a park?
No, just down the street.
Yeah.
There's like wooden footpaths, wood walking area outside, across some of the shops, in front of the shops, and some join. But sometimes there's like big alleyways between the shops, and then you just step down and then step back up to the next walk. But we're on the road, on the street, just by the path. But there are horses there, and we sort of walk around the horses.
Yeah. Do you talk about anything?
It's springtime. And he's sort of hinting like springtime, people get married. His mother's been a bit ill. Which I feel concerned about because I love him and it's his father. And she's in bed, the doctor's been. Doesn't really seem to know what's wrong. She's got a fever.
Yeah.
That's upstairs, and his father's, she's been upstairs, the father's, he's got to attend the shop. He's really worried about him. But he said, would you like to marry me? Not will you marry me? He said, would you like to marry?
Yeah.
And yes, and
you say
we
yes.
just hug. Yes, and we just a big hug and a kiss. A long hug. And everything just feels perfect. I think his age is a bit of a thing, because I'm so much older than him.
Is it frowned upon?
Yeah. And I just came a stranger into town.
Yeah.
So there's sort of speculation as to my background may have been. So I think I'm a whore.
And how does the judgment make you feel?
I try just to not forget it, because the love for him sort of overrides that. And I'm just like, you know what, damn the lot of you. Like, we're in the room, much older. He's in bed and he's dying. He's about 60 something.
Mm. Michael, you mean? Yeah.
He's laying in the bed, his clothes. It's just a single bed he's lying in. Like he's been sick for a while. And so we don't share the same bed.
Are you alone with him?
Yes. It's me sitting there.
What location
Sort of,
are you in?
we're upstairs in the building. It's the shop. That was his parents' shop. They both passed away. We took over the shop.
Mm. How is he doing?
Not well. Just lying there.
Is he conscious?
Barely. And he's on his last legs. And I have this awful feeling come back. Like he's his death will be another abandonment.
So you have like a reminder of what's already happened to you, and you know it's going to happen again.
Yeah. I just feeling of despair and hopelessness. Again.
Do you know if you had any children?
No, not sure why. I don't think could. I don't think I wanted to.
Was it a choice that you made, or you just weren't able to? Did Michael or you have any other family?
He had a sister, but she died young.
Did you ever locate your father?
No. I met somebody who knew of him. But hadn't seen him. And I think she went away. Didn't know where. So I never found him, never saw him again.
Yeah.
My mother had, I don't know what happened to her. When I was young, she went away. Just me and my father. What happened to her? Standing on a cliff edge. It's a seaside cliff. Right on the edge, looking down. And I jump. Once, just fall. I just stand and fall forward.
On purpose?
Yep.
Just hold that moment, and we'll just quickly revisit a few things that happened before then. So did Michael eventually die while he was in that bed?
Yeah. Not long after.
How long has it been since that happened?
10 years.
So quite a while. How did it make you feel?
Just sad and abandoned again. At my age, I just felt I'm getting old now.
The feeling that came up of abandonment, was it just as strong? Was it just as bad as when it happened before?
Yeah, it kind of ignited the same feeling, and it just got stronger. The memories started coming back.
So over those 10 years, it got stronger.
Yeah, got to the point where that was it. I'd had to end it.
It was too much. Did you meet anybody else? Or did you stay alone?
No, just stay alone.
Did you keep the store or did you leave?
For a while, I had somebody helping in there. And then they bought the store. I sold it to them.
Do you know what their name was?
James. It was a man, and he had a handlebar mustache. James Mason.
Okay.
I just moved. I went to another town, and
Do
I
you-
got a house. I bought a little house
Yeah.
on my own, and I stayed there.
Did you do anything else with the money?
No, I had lots of cash just at home into the mattress, and I just used that. It dwindled away just on food and
Was it paper money?
yeah, did a wad of it.
Yeah.
I didn't trust the bank. I didn't want to put it in banks.
Did you ever get another pet?
As a cat. There was some comfort. Someone to talk to.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
that's all. Well,
let's move back or forward to the cliff. Do you know the location of where you're standing, the name of the town or place?
somewhere called Merrickville.
Marrickville.
That's out of town, and it's a coastal town, and this is way out of town.
How far away from your home is it?
Maybe safe. Just a few miles. Just the home, sort of, just on the outskirts of the town. It's a few miles away. It was a struggle to get up there.
Kind of
I didn't care.
strenuous walk, you mean?
It's the age. But I was determined. I just had one thing in my mind. That's it.
Yeah. And do you know what the year is?
19. It was 1900. 1900. One.
So just step into that moment of where you let go and you fall. What happens after that?
Floating, and
As you're floating, how do you feel?
when I felt floating down and then onto the rocks, and then it wasn't painful, but I thought maybe it's going to be some pain before, but
There's no pain.
no pain.
Mm.
I'm up from, I'm sort of up above the water and above the cliff, sort of suspended, looking.
Are you looking straight back down?
Down and looking back toward the town.
And the way you're seeing it, is it the same perspective as when you were in the body, or is it a bit different? For example, the color's different, or can you see a wider angle, or is it more vivid, that sort of thing?
Yeah, everything. Everything seemed more vivid. the sea, and the grass, and the sky, and the seabirds. It's so peaceful.
How are you feeling now?
And
How does it feel to leave that life behind you?
part of me's like, that's done. Like that life. Part of me's like, it's over with.
Yeah. So now whatever happened has already happened and you are on the other side of it. From that position, can you look back at that entire life and see it from a different perspective, as every life has a lesson and a purpose? So as you look back at that life, what do you think you learned from it?
So be careful who you love.
And what do you think the purpose was of that lifetime?
Abandon. And feeling unloved.
Yeah.
But the abandonment is a big thing.
So that's a big part of it. Just focus in on being above that coast, looking back in the town, floating, and just see what happens next.
Surrounded in cloud or white. Or white. And there's an opening in the cloud coming, and a sort of like a vertical oval shape with pointed ends opens, and there's blue sky, and there's a sun. Shining right out.
So the colors are like a sun between the clouds.
It's like a sun in the middle of this vertical oval shape, like a door opened up.
And do you get like a feeling or a sense of what it is and what you should do?
It's opened for me to go through. And I go through, and it's like I'm way up high above the sea, looking down below me. There's this like I thought was the sun. It's like a glow, like a ball. It's like a large, round, glowing, sort of white glowing ball in the air, suspended in the air, down below me at 45 degrees.
And that's what you see after you've gone through the portal.
Yeah. I can still see below. I can see way below.
As in back on
coast.
Yeah.
And it's just this ball.
Do you know what the ball represents?
It doesn't look like anything earthly.
Do you get a sense if it's alive?
It's like some kind of craft, flying craft. It's like it's sitting, like it's observing me. And it comes closer and it's right in front of me. And it's enormous. The size of like a big house, 2-story house.
And how does it make you feel that it's so close to you now?
It takes me in. I just go in, like through it, just in, and I'm in it. And it's all white inside, and there's two strange looking beings, and they're all white except for their eyes. And they look like those, they look like those, what you see with greys, greys.
Yeah.
They look like those, but they're white. They got similar looking in the eyes, and they're all white.
What color are the eyes?
The eyes are black, and it's reflection on them.
But the body's all white.
The body's all white.
Is it like
They're almost.
Is it transparent body, or is it more of a solid?
It looks like they're sort of glowing, like they're lit up on the inside, like the outer of them is sort of got like their skin had light in it.
Yeah.
There's nothing threatening. They don't.
Do they communicate with you?
Yeah, but it's not talking, and I can't hear words, but it's just like a knowing. They just look and it's just a knowing what. And there's a calming. There's a calming. And they direct me to walk between them, and they put their arms out either side, and they both got their arm sort of gesturing me to walk between them past them. And there's a chair, and it's a weird chair. It's like it's there for a purpose. It's got similar to like a big office chair with a headrest thing.
Yeah.
It's a bit different. And I sit in there.
When you sit down,
And
do you notice any difference? Or is it similar to just standing?
I feel I'm sitting in there.
Yeah.
I feel I'm sitting in it. And it's sort of like something about the chair is like I couldn't get up out of it. It's like something about the chairs like magnetized me to it, something like that. And they both sit down where they were standing. I get the impression it's true, it's moving, but I can't feel any movement.
Yeah. You mean you get a sense that the three of you are going somewhere?
Yeah.
Are they also sitting on chairs?
Yes.
Do the chairs look the same as your chair?
No, they're simpler. Just simple chairs with one sort of leg in the middle of it going to the floor.
And when you look around the space you're in, what does it look like?
The interior's all white, and it's like where the chair is, there's like a wall or something either side. Mainly got this view straight ahead. I can see on one side there's like a thing that looks like a TV, the old TVs. So like the old, really old computer monitors, the old beige ones, but not like that. And the screen is red. It's quite sparse.
And before you said you kind of get a knowing. Is it kind of a telepathic communication?
I think it must have been, because I can't feel physical movement. But I didn't think we were just sitting there just to sit there. So I had the impression we're going somewhere. I don't know if it came from them or not. And now it's like the whole outside is gone. And it's in space. It's just all stars in space. Like the outside of the whole thing is gone, and you can just see.
So you don't see a layer of any kind. There's just nothing there.
No, it's like the whole skin on the outside, the outer shell is just gone. And it's just black stars, black space. Strange feeling, but from them I'm getting this calmness.
When you look around outside, so you said there were stars, do you notice anything else significant?
Just more stars than I've ever seen. The blacker sky than I've ever seen. And they're much bigger than just looking from the ground. When I'm looking up at the sky, they're much bigger. I don't seem to be moving through them. There's no movement visible.
Mm.
And then it's like we went through this, but all of a sudden there's like this huge planet surface, and it was like we went through something like some invisible skin or something. This whole thing went through. It was just black space, and all of a sudden there's a large planet surface there, and there's atmosphere, it's light. I don't know how that happened.
Mm. Are you going down to the planet, do you mean?
Straight to it. And I can see everything.
What does the planet look like?
On the surface, there's a whole lot of buildings, roundish, bubble sort of buildings. But there's a big dome around it, and we just go through the dome. There's no doorway, it just goes through this dome. And then I'm standing with them. They're looking at me like when I first came in, and with their arms, and there's a whole lot more of them ahead. They're all standing there like waiting for me or looking at me. I just walked towards them.
Do you get any feeling of if they know you, or have they been waiting or knew you were coming or anything like that?
It's like that. It's like they came and got me and took me back, and they're all there waiting for me. There's something like a welcoming, and I feel calm about it. It's like there's something familiar, feeling of something familiar. And I walk, and as I walk toward them and to them, they part and usher me through. They'll have their hand in the same direction, ushering me between them.
Yeah.
And I'll walk, and it opens up, and there's a woman all dressed in black, and she's on this, sitting on like a black shiny throne, and it's high up, and it's the only black in this whole sea of white, and she's sitting up there, and I can feel it. I can feel her mind.
What does she look like?
All I can see is her black sort of roby clothing, and she's got black eyes like them, but they're different. They're not as
Different shape?
a different shape. The others had big sort of almondy eyes. Hers are more sort of slanted and not as wide.
What about her skin? What does that look like?
The skin's all covered except her face,
What does the face look like?
which I can see the eyes, but the face is the face is like shifting and shimmering.
Can you see the hands?
I see her hands now. One's holding like a scepter, and her hands are sort of a white, similar to the colour of the others, and very long claw-like fingernails. And on the scepter in the right hand, and the left hand is resting on like this big knob on the throne.
What's at the end of the scepter?
It's a diamond shape. It's a diamond shape, kind of like it's like almost like a double pyramid. The base, like a diamond shape, two pyramids joined together,
Yeah.
one underneath the other, like a diamond, sort of like that shape.
What sort of
And
material?
it's gold. It's gold. It's got gold. The edges are gold, and it's shiny black. The rest of it.
So the scepter's black, and the thing at the top's the pyramid joined together is gold. Yeah, the double.
Yeah, but it's just the edges are gold. There's black insets, and there's a little sort of gold sphere on top of that.
What color is the scepter?
The scepter itself is black.
Okay, so
The
the scepter's black, and this like within the edges is black as well of the double pyramid.
Yeah.
And yeah, you've got you said a skull on top.
Like a little sphere, like a ball.
Oh, a ball. Okay. And before
Those-
you said that you could feel her mind, is that right?
yes.
Can you just expand or describe that more?
It was, she's like, the feeling behind, she's like in there and ushering me forward like they were doing with their hands, but she was doing it with her mind. And I get the sense that she very, really, the power of her mind
Yep.
seemed way more than the others. And I'm walking there, and before that throne, there's just some steps that go up to it. That's what makes it so high. Yeah. I just stop at the bottom and look up.
How far away from you is she?
About just about 4 meters. About 4 meters. That's about how far up these steps she was.
So not too far away, pretty close.
No, she's there. She's quite a presence, larger than the rest.
Yeah. And what happens next? Does she communicate?
She says, "Welcome back." And I'm confused.
Are you confused? Why are you confused?
Because I'm still not clear as to what's happening.
Do you remember her? Is there any familiarity about her?
She's my mother. At least she gave birth to me somehow. And then I know.
Are there any reflective services around where you could look at yourself in?
I walk round the side and I look at this and I can see myself and I look like one of them.
Are there any differences?
The difference is I've got a black cloak. I've got a black cloak.
Yeah.
And then I have the impression that they that all the others that they look up at me and I'm this like subservient to me because I'm the son.
So there's a bit of a hierarchy that would be the mother and you, and then all of those under you.
Yeah. And now, and I walk back and I walk up the stairs right up to her and I say, "Mother."
Yeah. Does she have a response?
I just feel this overwhelming feeling of belonging and home.
So it's a pretty strong feeling.
Very.
Is that nice to feel that? Is that a good thing?
It is. It's a really nice feeling.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. It's like a returning where you come from.
The longer you're there in this moment just now, do you get more confidence and more
Yeah,
validity that it's real, that this really is where you come from.
yes, a growing feeling of warmth and like remembrance.
Yeah.
Like, and I turn around and look, and there's many more of them there, and they're all looking. They're all looking up.
When you say many more of them, what do you mean?
Many more of the others, the white ones, with the black eyes.
And
I turned around.
do you get a sense of who they are or what they are in comparison to you two?
There's a reverence, almost like being gods, almost that kind of reverence.
Yeah.
And I hold both my arms up, both my hands and arms up, and I just get a good feeling from it's all in the mind. Like,
Does it?
it's just this. It's like almost like a hive mind.
Yeah.
And I know all of them, this whole group. I know at once what they're all feeling.
Do you know?
And I get the feeling that they can't do that so much.
Do you mean that they can't tap into how each other's feeling? It's more that you can.
No, they can do that. They communicate like that, but there's something about my mind is much more powerful.
Okay, yeah. So, for example, what would be something they can't do?
They couldn't stand up where I am and know what the whole group, they get this whole group feeling.
Okay, yeah.
They can, between themselves and in small groups, they know, because that's how there's no spoken word. That's how we communicate. There's no spoken word. But when you can, and the power of my mother, she knows what the whole colony is thinking at once.
And do you get a sense of where they come from or how they were created?
It's not the home planet. The atmosphere doesn't suit. It's this huge dome. I don't know if it's solid or some kind of force that enables an atmosphere to be created inside. It's not the native land. Something happened. And we had to move quite quickly. There'd be only a few thousand. There'd be only a few thousand. Lots to make it. It is a very hierarchical society. Only us at the top kind of got away.
So would each of them have different mothers and parents?
No, they weren't. They were created much like are like a test tube. Creation of life. They were created and grown. They were created and grown. And they all come from her. But there's something that they're inferior in some way.
So what would the differences be to how you were created compared to them?
I was created, when I say they were from her, not from her blood, her bloodline. That's what I was created from. They were created from another bloodline of a lower hierarchy, not of her. That's why that's why I am who I am, and they are who they are.
Yeah. So just back with the mother, does the mother have a name?
Queen Semiramis of,
So there's like a designation there. Is it like a planet, or when you say of, do you know what it's in reference to?
Queen Semiramis of Babylon.
Okay. And does she have anything else to communicate to you just now?
I'm back to take my place, my rightful place on the throne beside her as her son and husband. And both these things together we rule. And now I see what must be done, that we must move elsewhere to another planet and rule.
And do you get keep going.
That planet being Earth.
Do you know what time period on Earth that has taken place? Or maybe it's yet to take place.
We've been there before. The time's different. We've been there before, something happened. We had to leave. This is some tens of thousands of years ago.
So the plan is to go back there again?
To go back now, something happened there. It's over. Something's happened. Now we can go back. There's been devastation. Now we can return. But it's not our home planet.
In terms of timing, did this take place where you are just now, right after that lifetime, which was 1901 or something around that time?
Well, no, it's like that life and that time. It's like we're not in that. That time doesn't exist. That when time is not like that, So that time, that year of that life, that's nothing, that's not connected to us.
Would you say it's a different reality or timeline?
It's like if you had a film strip of a lifetime, of many, many lifetimes over thousands of years, you could just roll it along and pick any date and go in there and manifest in that. It's outside of time like that, outside of time and space like that. It's only being in a life like that the time. It's not that you feel that. It's like it's another reality that's not really that we're outside of. And so I could have a life in 1901. I could have a life in 3000 BC. I can have a life in 2060. It's just.
But that life you had today in the session where abandonment played a big role, does that connect back into your life that you're having in the room where you're laying down?
This is what I've chosen. This is what I've chosen. Because of that, because something from that lifetime needs healing. That one in particular. There may have been lives between, but that one in particular, was very damaging.
How is Jeff experiencing his higher self just now? What is coming to him?
Feelings of elation. Some understanding, like seeing the big picture, a perspective, knowing that I'm on track, so to speak.
On track in the sense of being in the right place just now?
Of being in the right place right now, in a sense of it, healing. I've reached a place, a point of healing, a lot of healing. All that in this life has come to this healing from that past life. He needed to know that because it's been affecting him so much in his life. And what is happening with him on this journey, in this long journey.
So it's been affecting him back in his life, in the room.
Yes, he's still carrying the pain from that particularly difficult experience.
Taking the life of his child as the mother and having the partner leave, those were two really important emotional experiences that he went through. Is there anything else in that life that was important in that regard?
We need to learn that love is the key.
Love is the key. What is the best way for him to heal from that lifetime?
Through creative endeavors and sharing his love, reaching out to others are not all a threat. reaching out and touching people.
So tapping more into his creative side is very important, and reaching out more with people.
And reaching out with open arms and welcoming brothers and sisters with open arms. We're all in this together. We're all one. We're all the same. We're all in this together. Trust and love, giving and taking with love, and accepting who he is, and accepting all others for who they are. All others.
And just now, are you, his higher self, able to help him heal from that past life, energetically, emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally? Can you help him heal?
Yes, I will. I am here.
How long will that process take?
Not long. It's happening already. He'll feel it. He'll know.
How important was it for him to relive those memories to help with the healing process?
They weren't very pleasant for him, but he understands. And he understands he needed to remember to release the pain. That was the culmination of many lifetimes. That was one particularly needed to remember to help him heal this life.
So in other lifetimes, he's also been abandoned?
2 or 3 before that one.
Okay.
But that was lessons not learned, and that's resulted in that one. That's why it was very important for him to remember this. That is like a separate reality long before this. It connected to it. It goes deeper than these lives. Something different.
So he felt that that was his home, or where he was from. Does that relate to his current life back in the room and other lives on Earth? How does that tie in? Is it really where he's from? Or, for example, we're talking to his higher self, so he's also from his higher self. So what are the differences, and how does that all interconnect?
That was like a hijacking of his mind by something else.
Could that be described as a past life as well?
Yes, something like he was taken for some time, taken out of the cycle of lives.
So it wasn't going on simultaneously to the cycle of lives. There was a...
No. No.
He had a sense of being at home, an overwhelming feeling. Why did he feel that way?
Part of his mind is not his own. Part of his mind is from them.
And when you say mind, do you mean soul or spirit?
Part of his spirit, part of his soul.